Hey guys, how's it going? Eminem Gaming here, and today we're back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated games for 2017. Now, this is my personal list, so again, let me know your personal list down below. Is it similar to this? Is there any games you would add to this? All that good stuff. As well as, I just want to say in this video, I'm only going to be talking about games with 2017 release windows, and I'm going to give a shout out to two games in particular that I'm very excited for. However, they only are speculated for 2017 release dates, so bear that in mind, guys, and all that good stuff. Before we get into the video, I want to apologize for the lack of uploads. I've been very busy lately, obviously the holiday time. Hopefully going into January things can calm down, get back to regular uploads, but I do apologize. Hopefully the next 3 days I should have a video every day, and the final video being obviously my personal game of the year awards, my top 5. So I hope you enjoy that, guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the video and my personal top 10 most anticipated games for 2017. Now, the first two I want to give disclaimers for that I'm very excited for and would without a doubt be high up on this list, but they are not confirmed for 2017, are Days Gone. Now, Days Gone is being made by Sony Bend, as you guys may well know, and if you do know me or follow me on Twitter, you may also know that this is one of my, if not my most anticipated game, particularly coming out of PlayStation, out of their first party. I love this genre of games, and this one looks a very special game to me. It looks like an open world The Walking Dead / The Last of Us, so absolutely I'm all behind it, and hopefully it hits 2017. But yeah, if there's a packed holiday lineup, it may get pushed, and I'd fully be fine with that, in my opinion. And the next game that I wanted to talk about is Final Fantasy VII, the remake, the first episode that they're doing. Now, again, it's been heavily rumoured that it's going to be a 2017 game, and obviously Final Fantasy, the original, is arguably one of the greatest games of all time. So without a shadow of a doubt, I'm definitely hyped for Final Fantasy VII Remake. However, there's no confirmed date, so that's the only reason it isn't on this list. Again, it may get confirmed for 2017 as I upload this video. Knowing my luck, probably, but bear that in mind. So, with all that aside, let's just get into the official top 10 most anticipated games for 2017. And in number 10, for me personally, this is because I'm not a huge fan of the franchise in general. I haven't played a lot of the games, so I can't really cast my vote and opinion on the older games. But Mass Effect Andromeda has to get the number 10 spot. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the franchise, but from all the gameplay, all the trailers that I've been seeing, it looks incredible. It looks a really awesome game. The only worries I slightly have with it is, again, with EA, is it going to be filled with microtransactions? There's already, like, I'm seeing in the pre-orders a lot of like microtransaction stuff and online, and you know, I'm a very much if I'm playing an open world RPG or something, I want it to be my personal experience. So this online integration, I hope, does not affect the story. The reason it's down lower on my list is, again, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the franchise in general. I haven't really played them to really judge them. But yeah, this one has got me very excited from the little gameplay I have seen. And yeah, it looks a fantastic game, and I hope that it lives up to my personal expectations and everyone out there who is more of a Mass Effect fan than me. In number 9, I had to go with South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Now, I loved The Stick of Truth. That was an absolutely hilarious game. It was awesome. It had a really good like fighting mechanic, even though it was a very much a a comedy game. It wasn't to be taken serious or anything, but it did genuinely have quite an awesome combat system, in my opinion. The characters were hilarious. It wasn't just a South Park rip off or anything. It was genuinely like playing through like a movie of South Park, which was awesome. It has the writers from it. So for me personally, I'm absolutely. But in number 8, for me, I have to go with Nier Automata. Now, I love the first Nier. It was an absolute fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. And honestly, guys, I am so excited for Nier Automata. Now, I've watched a lot of gameplay. I don't know if I'm missing it, and there is some Western voice acting that has been shown, but I have only really seen the Japanese live streams for Nier Automata, and all I can say is the game looks superb. It looks awesome. I think we've had a distinct lack of these sort of games this generation, and honestly, I cannot wait for this game. It looks absolutely superb. It's going to have a fantastic narrative if it's similar to the first one, but also amazingly awesome gameplay. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's absolutely amazing. And it's just going to be I think it could be one of the better games next year. But I'm definitely excited for it. I think Square Enix can kind of, hit the heights with it. I think they're working with Platinum Games as well. So that sort of partnership sounds pretty awesome to me. Platinum Games can be a little bit hit and miss. They've got some really good games like the Bayonetta games. Then they've got the Ninja Turtles that aren't absolutely like amazing or whatever. They're just average games. So they can definitely have like hit and miss games. But hopefully this is one of the hits. And honestly, everything I've seen so far looks fantastic. I try and watch as much gameplay as possible. But yeah, in number 8, it has to be Nier Automata, for me personally. Now, in number 7, now this could have been higher, but the fact is I didn't want to distract from newer games, because technically it's a remake slash remaster, but it has to get a place on the list, and quite high, and that is Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Now, if you are a Crash Bandicoot fan, you will know that we have been waiting for this game for quite some time. We've been waiting for ever since really Activision kind of bought the rights to Crash for an actual good Crash game. And this is just everything I personally could have hoped for with Crash Bandicoot. Going back to the original Naughty Dog trilogy, remaking them, doing the stages up, making Crash not look crazy, not look weird, but just making him look next gen, which is ironic because it's like 3 gens from then or whatever, but just make him look awesome, and it does. It looks really amazing. I don't know if any of you have seen the gameplay, but it does, to me at least, and maybe I'm biased because I love the old games or whatever, but to me at least, the game looks absolutely incredible. I think Vicarious Visions have done a fantastic job, and honestly, I cannot wait for this game. And if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you'll know that I basically started my channel talking about Crash Bandicoot news. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for the remasters, and yeah, let me know if you guys are as well. And I'm surprised, especially coming from Activision, no offense, like if you're an Activision fan, but I'm really surprised that they're only charging $40 for this. I thought this would be $60, Crash Team Racing, DLC, microtransactions. So that's a really nice surprise, and it looks to be an awesome remaster slash remake, in my opinion anyway. In number 6 though, we have to go with Persona 5. Now, I like to have on my list, games that I'm uncertain about. Like Nier could be awesome, but it could also be like, like I said, a hit or a miss. This is one of those games that I know is going to be good, not just because I like the developers and I like the IP and the genre itself, but because the game's already out in Japan technically, and I think it's got, I think it's called Famitsu, the viewing system, which is again a little bit like Metacritic over here, and it's basically got like a 49 out of 50, which is like a 98 on Metacritic. So yeah, we already know the game's going to be fantastic. I've seen a few people who have already played the Japanese version of the game, and to them, they say it's their game of the year. So who the hell knows? All I know is I think the game's going to be superb. For new Persona fans, for old Persona fans, it's just going to include everyone, and every bit of gameplay I can watch, every bit of stuff they put on the PlayStation YouTube channel, I always check out, and this is one I've had my eye on for a very, very long time, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will finally, no more delays, come out this year. But we'll have to see. But again, fingers crossed for that. So in number 5, I've had to go with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now it only is listed as Star Wars Battlefront sequel, so I don't know if it's going to be 2 or it's going to be like called Rogue One, or I don't know what it's going to be called, but Star Wars Battlefront 2 has to be on this list. Now, to a lot of people, this is blasphemy. I know for sure. It being above Persona for some people will definitely upset some people. But as I said, this is a game I feel could go either way. But with DICE working on it, I feel personally that we know for a fact one thing for this game: the multiplayer is going to be fantastic. I've mentioned many a time on my channel, I'm not a multiplayer guy. I don't play hundreds of hours of multiplayer. However, there are three developers who I constantly play their multiplayer for, and that is Rockstar, that is DICE, and that is Naughty Dog. They're the only ones I consistently play and don't put down after a couple of weeks. So I know the multiplayer is going to be fantastic. I love Star Wars Battlefront, the first one, and it didn't have a story. This one's going to have a story. Hopefully that leads to good things. But again, like I said, guys, this is my personal list. It may not be for you, but I love DICE, and I think this, as a Star Wars fan, this could be a phenomenal game. But that's just my opinion. Again, let me know yours down below. Now, next up, this is a game that I'm very, very excited for, though the hardware has got me a little bit iffy, and I'll get into that in a minute. But that is, probably guessed, but The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, this looks an amazing game. It's beautiful. It's an open world Zelda game. It looks fantastic. The graphics look great. Running on the Switch seems to have a really good frame rate. I've seen some of the Wii U gameplay, and it is kind of a flip book, it's not very good. However, on the Switch, it runs, I don't know if it's 60, I don't know if it's 30, but its frame rate is really, really solid. That is a very good sign for me personally. The art style's beautiful, the characters are awesome, even the enemies look cool. And this looks one of the better games, I've got to say, guys. I'm not, I'm a PlayStation guy, but I'm a Nintendo fan as well. I'm a Nintendo and PlayStation fan. So for me, this is one of my most excited games. It looks beautiful. My only worry is the hardware. I hear some good things one day, and then the rumors and leaks come out that they're not so good. You've got 4 gigabytes of RAM one day, and then you got this, which is positive the next. Ultimately, we're going to have to wait till January 12th to really know. However, if Nintendo can pull something out the bag and have a fantastic launch lineup, and then Zelda later on in the year, I think I'm going to have to pull the trigger on the Switch. But again, hopefully I'm proven wrong and the system is absolutely fantastic and really powerful and runs all the games at 60 frames, and I'll be very happy, and that's for sure. But we'll have to wait till January the 12th. However, with all that being said, Legend of Zelda is definitely one that I genuinely think will be minimum 90, but it will definitely, I think, be over 90 on Metacritic. But again, that's just my opinion, but let me know yours down below. So getting into the top 3 was very, very difficult, but I narrowed it down, and in number 3, I've had to go with Ni no Kuni 2. I had to go with it. I love the first Ni no Kuni. I say it a lot. I got that game and expected nothing from it. I thought, oh, it'd be fun or whatever, kill some time. But how wrong was I? I think that, again, there were some absolutely superb games last generation with like Uncharted 2 and 3, The Last of Us, Red Dead, GTA 5. You know, there were some absolutely masterpieces last gen. But in my opinion, Ni no Kuni has to be thrown in the list, particularly in top 10 from last gen, in my opinion. And it looks just even better, this one. The characters look amazing, the world looks amazing. There hasn't been too much gameplay shown, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this is a 2018 game, to be honest with you. However, if it does hit 2017, I will be there day one with my copy of Ni no Kuni 2. And yeah, it's definitely one of those games that I really love. I really love the franchise. The first one was amazing, and yeah, I can't wait for the second one. So yeah, hopefully we get some more news soon and some more gameplay soon. But next up, now this was a difficult one. I didn't know which to put first and which to put second. But for number 2, I've had to go with Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, Horizon looks like one of the most promising IPs that I've seen in a very, very long time. In terms of new IP, the last one that I was incredibly probably hyped for was probably The Last of Us. You know, I'm not saying it's going to be as good as The Last of Us. I'm not going to say it's not going to be as good as The Last of Us, but it feels like that sort of game. The way Sony's treating it as their next big IP, everything I've seen from it, it's not like I've come away from any trailer. That's including the first one they shown to the latest one at PSX. Not one of those trailers have come out thinking, oh, I'm not too confident on this, that, you know, it doesn't look too good, or oh, the graphics don't look too good, or the character models, or, you know, this story seems a bit, you know, annoying. Everything I've seen looks superb. However, I will say one thing. Now, I doubt Sony's watching this video. I'd be very surprised. If so, hello. But one thing I have to say is that they are getting into spoiler territory with some of their later videos on Horizon. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that the spoilers themselves are bad. It doesn't seem like the story's going to be terrible. It's just, I don't want to know anything about the story. Just show me more of the world. But with all that being said, Horizon is honestly one of my most excited IPs. Similar to Days Gone, but I'd put above Days Gone in my humble opinion. Usually wrong opinion, but still, I would just put Horizon above Days Gone in terms of my new IPs. But it looks a truly special game, a sort of a Witcher meets Uncharted meets God knows what, robot dinosaurs. But yeah, it looks an incredible mix, and the game is coming out real soon, March 1st for UK users, February 28th for the US. So yeah, all rambling aside, I could talk about Horizon all day, probably have done sometimes, but Horizon Zero Dawn in the second position. Now, in the number 1 position, if you know me, you're probably not surprised at this, but it has to go to Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption is my second favourite game of all time. It's the best Rockstar game, in my opinion, they've ever made. The game was superb, really emotional story. I wasn't expecting the sort of twists and the plot twists in the first one. It kind of messed me up, I'm not gonna lie. And it had the best story, in my opinion, of any Rockstar game. The world was amazing. It was just so fun exploring and doing side quests and even doing like card games. I don't even know how to play them, and I learned just for Red Dead. So the game is absolute. It's an absolute masterpiece. My second favorite game of all time, behind The Last of Us, and I can 30 seconds of of gameplay. Really, we've only seen a field and a couple of mice running through it, and then some guys on horses. But that's all you need to show me with Red Dead. I'm already hype over 9,000 or whatever. So for me personally, that is my most anticipated game. But I have no doubt it's a 2018 game. Like, let's be real here. I'd love to be wrong. I'm wrong 90% of the time, so that'd be brilliant if I'm wrong this time. However, knowing Rockstar's track record, it wouldn't surprise me if it's 2018. But just knowing the game's coming is good enough for me. So, all rambling aside, I'm sorry for the long video. I hope you enjoyed it though. Again, this is just my personal list of games that I'm personally really excited for. Now that doesn't mean I'm not excited for other games. This was just 10 that I thought of for myself. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll catch you guys in a new video very soon.